This is Eric from the Stratford Public Library Makerspace. Welcome back to Maker Meetups. This is part 2 of bookbinding, and today we're going to bind a book that we can use our action figures and any other kind of characters that we create and make a 3-dimensional book. Awesome! It'd be totally great if we could make a 3D book that our action figures and other characters could help tell the story of. I got an idea. So this is the beginning of my Big Maker journey. It's a 3-dimensional book, and each set of pages creates its own room, and anything can happen in these rooms that you can either draw or write or just use it as a place to play. And you can have doors. Each room can be its own adventure, and you can move from one room into the other room and create your story however you want. If you make a book like this, I made a whole bunch of flat characters, and they've got little stands so they can stand up. But if you put a little pocket on the side, they can be right where they need to be when their part in the story comes up. I was thinking for this story, I'd write my words on the walls here. But if you run out of room for words, you can always take one of the little books that you made and stick it in a pocket on the side, so it's exactly where it needs to be when you need to tell that part of the story. So to make this 3-dimensional book, you need 8 pieces of square paper, all pretty much the same. And it doesn't really matter what size they are, but cereal boxes would work really well for this. I just had some Bristol board. And this is going to be a wall, and this is going to be a floor, and that's the height of my figure. Or I could probably use some taller ones in this building. I'm going to use tape for this, and the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to tape together 2 of each square. So we've made 4 file folders, kind of like this. You could also use file folders. Now that I have my file folders made, I just take both sides and fold them up like that. And I'm going to put a piece of tape to temporarily stick it at the top. I'll give it a half turn. And I'll take one more file folder and stick it on right here. One more half turn, and we can put the last one in. And now we're sure that all 4 of our sections are set up the way that we'd like. We're going to run a piece of tape down each seam to make it really sturdy. And then it'll fold up exactly the way that you want it to. If you missed a step on how to create one of these, I'll leave a link at the end of the video so that you can go see a tutorial on how to do it. And now that we've made this really cool book, I've got a couple other bookbinding techniques I want to show you. This is another really easy way to bind a book. Take your folded pages and your folded cover, and we're going to punch 2 holes in each one, and we're going to do it separately because there's a lot of space. So I have an elastic stuck through both holes, and on this side I have 2 loops sitting up. And I'm going to take this stick and I'm going to put it through one loop and then pull it over and put it through the other loop. And now you've got a really cool binding that you can either use a stick or a piece of dowel, a pen if you have one, whatever you'd like, and it holds all your pages together. And if you've got these cool things, which are zip ties, you can do the same thing. And either leave a tail or cut them off flush. You don't need to be limited by paper. You could use something like this tin and stitch yourself together a stack of paper and attach it into that, so then you've got this really nice tin notebook that you can take places. Or take apart an old Nintendo controller. I could build a notebook into that. Or even if you had a few pieces of wood that were just about the right size, nice and thin, you could bind those together with pages in between. Anything that you can think of, you can probably turn into a notebook. I hope that you really enjoyed making books with us today. If you did, take a picture of the book that you made and show it to us on social media. Or create a book and share it with somebody. Send it to a friend or make it for somebody for a special occasion. Thank you all so much for joining us this week. I hope that you had a fantastic time. See you all again next Thursday at 2 o'clock for another Make It Meetup.